Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Fixing Up the Commonwealth. I hope you're well today. Today's build is just going to be a basic little entranceway stroke gateway, which I'm going to add here now. Again, as most of this build has been, this is influenced by something I saw in Fallout 76, and I'll let you know at the end of the video where exactly it came from. But I'm going to use scaffolding pretty much exclusively for this build, and then we'll decorate it around there. And again, another simple idea, keep it simple, stupid, is, it's the KISS principle, and it ends up being much better than envisaged. And again, you've got, even though it was influenced by something I've seen in game with Fallout 76, I have given it my own flavour. So, like to share these ideas when I get them. Again, a lot of the time I start with a base idea and then we just work with it and see where it takes us. Just using the post to get this roughly where I want it to be. And again, I want to leave a little bit of leeway or a little bit of a gap between this and the actual boundary as such, just to give me some breathing room. So I might want to do some decoration on the outside of this and whatnot. Pretty simple build today, guys. Not too hard to do at all. You can give it a go. This will snap eventually. Yeah, it was just being a bit of a knob for some reason, whatever. During the course of this build, I did have a number of ideas, and I had tried heading in a few different directions, but anyway, I ended up coming back to just keeping it as simple and straightforward as possible. And in the next couple of builds, you're going to see really keeping your build simple, and then just using decoration is the way to go. At least I think it is. So you have to excuse me, I'm a bit flat at the moment. I've just had a little bit of a bug, so I might not sound as chipper as they would say as usual, but yeah, I'm just getting over some kind of weird bug that I copped. Still not 100%, so this video should have been done about a week ago, but anyway, I lost my voice for a period there, as a few of you will know, and so I haven't really been online much, which is a bit of a problem when you do YouTube where you lose your voice. It's yeah. So if you see some videos with that, like gameplay videos without any commentary, that's the reason why. Now this does snap. See how I just pulled back, and you get that slightly different angle. There, it snaps in just like that. Now there is a little bit of wasted space there, which I'm never happy with wasting space, but yeah, we do figure that out in the end. Now see if that'll fit in there too, which it will eventually, he said optimistically, again as usual. I hope you've been well. Hope you're enjoying all these new games that have come out. It's just been crazy the last 3 or 4 months. It's just been really silly as far as new games go. I'm gonna have to do that all again. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Anyway, at least we know how to do it now, so we're not too worried. We know that's going to snap straight where it needs to. I'm going to have to move it all though. Yeah, there's been a lot of great new games coming out, and yeah, it's been tough for me to choose what to share on the channel, and yeah, I'm playing a couple games that you're not even seeing, which I will do probably some gameplay or gaming plays series through with them, but getting the time to play all these and also continue to have this build in Fallout 4, and actually haven't touched Fallout 76 in a couple of weeks now because there's just been too much to choose from. So there, I tried an idea, it didn't work. I was going to put a bus there, it didn't work, so I end up going to the this old truck here. And I'm going to go and sleep in a second because it is getting a little bit dark. So we're just going to plop that into place for now and we'll come back. We do end up using this, but not where we leave it. So yeah, I'm trying a whole lot of things, none of which work. I end up having to use place anywhere, I think, to get this in the end. But anyway. Yep. It's because there's collision there between the scaffolding. You can try spinning it round, but try and move that collision point, but yeah, end up getting lazy again and just dropping it in and going for a sleep. So the county crossing settlement is really coming together. Thank you so much for all your comments on the factory. It's something that I hadn't done before, and I'm really pleased the way it came out. It really is great. There is a secret area in there, and I haven't gone back to that quite yet, but I do intend to do something with that. I've just got to figure out what I want to do with that. But I'm going to, for now, I'm just going to crack on with the rest of the settlement, and then we will then we'll come back to that at some point before we finish the build. So we're going to put that truck there because it just did not look right on the other side. And then I'm going to put, that's not the right one, that's not the right one. That's all right there now. Again, this is all improv, and this just, I have what, here is a tip for you. If you want to do these builds and you see something that you are influenced by and say, look, like I did with this build, this looks cool, I'd like to try and recreate that in Fallout 4. It doesn't have to be in a Fallout game, it can be anywhere. I get ideas from absolutely tons of games that I play. Here's an idea for you, and you can do this on PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. Go through to that area or that settlement and record it, and that's what I've done here. I recorded the area that this was influenced by, and then I went back, and when I went back I didn't realize that it actually had this element of having that scaffolding pole above as the entranceway. Now you can see I've put a fancy one on top, and again, break things up like this, make them look a little bit different, and it actually adds to the overall look. So I'm going to put a car up there, no idea why, it was just a cool thing to do, and I do like it. I just think it adds a kind of focal point to the settlement, and it works with all the vehicles that are kind of hanging around. Again, I saw something in the Division that a kind of cool idea that I kind of want to replicate here. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but some of what I'm doing now actually uses the thinking behind that idea. I'm not going to say too much because I don't use it. And yeah, all good. So we'll just put the railings in. Like I said, this is a pretty simple build. You don't have to be overcomplicated in what you're doing. And there's a few elements that just suddenly pop up here for whatever reason. With the, I didn't plan, and it starts to take a life of its own. There we go. So we can't fall off now. Not that I would ever fall off any of my builds in Fallout 4. If you've been watching for a while, you'll know that I'm a frequent faller. I should have frequent faller miles. I haven't done it for a while, but now that I've said it, it'll probably happen. So again, I am going for a very open look for this settlement. I don't necessarily want to put a ton of walls and whatnot in, so I'm using lots of different elements. And now we're going to, this is more what I'd call kind of, this is in the middle ground of decoration stroke building, but I want to start layering different elements into this, but again keeping it open and kind of flowing, and making sure that lots of these pieces sort of work with each other. There's a bit of concrete, you've got some steel of the scaffolding, and so we need to make this all kind of flow and look as though it's been thrown together by the settlers. These are great little, I like these with the rebar poking through them. They really do add something different, and they do work. When you see the final build here, you'll see these work very, very nicely in selling the overall look. So that's going to be the entranceway there. I am not going to put a gate in. Again, it speaks to, this is going to be a little kind of trading hub, a little kind of stopover area. And you see, I'm just trying different elements in here, and why not? And I'd encourage you to do this and just see where it takes you as far as coming up with new ideas. It's been, what now, 3 years this game has been coming in, and if you look back at the back catalogue of builds that I've done so many builds, and to come up with new ideas is a constant struggle now because I've done so much. But again, here we are 3 years down the track and we're still getting kind of new looks and new ideas and new combinations of items that we can throw together to build something. So hopefully this helps you, and hopefully it influences you to do something in your own settlement. And I have seen a few people that we support on the channel lately using some of the elements that I've seen in my own videos, but then taking it in a completely different direction as far as the overall look and the feel that they want to get to in their own settlements. And I would really encourage you to do this, to experiment. You'll see, maybe as I have done for years, from many different builders, many different games, all kinds of stuff, seen something and said, I want to use that in my own settlement, but use it in a different way, so it's got your own personal stamp on it. And that's the reason we share our builds, to try and give you some element of inspiration, ideas, etc, etc, etc. Here I'm trying things. Nothing I try here actually works, but here is an idea for turrets. Before, I've always put them on boxes. I was looking to do something else with these cinder blocks, and then I suddenly went, okay, so I've got to elevate. The problem here is, if you put a turret down, it can't shoot through these fences, so you've got to elevate them a little bit. So I thought, I wonder if this will sit on the cinder block here, and it actually does. I get it to sit up on there perfectly. There you go, done. And now it'll shoot over the fence without any dramas. I think this one's a little bit too close to the edge, but you should be able to pull. They should clip together now, and you should be able to pull that back, seeing that it's sitting on there. Let's just see what happens next. Oh no, we're actually not too bad there. Again, put these on so we don't fall off, and yeah, it's all starting to come together fairly nicely. Very early days yet, and once you get this all decorated up. Now I have left in a whole lot of decoration elements in this video, just to give you an idea how my brain functions, which is maybe not a good idea, but just how I keep layering things up. Oh, hi guys, how you doing? They're about to get a treat because I'm about to put a whole lot of stuff here for them. But they're frequent visitors now. Now you might, if you find these guys, you might get a frame drop when you're building, when these guys arrive. Don't worry about it too much. You can always go and sleep and get rid of them if it's a major drama. So one of the things that I wanted to do is kind of section off this area. It just seems to make sense, and we might do something in this corner in a little while. At some point we might move that car and build something in there. Not sure at this point whether I want to do that or whether I want to just leave it as is. And the Brahmin's back. Great. They can't put that over there. Okay, so you're like, yeah, okay, well we could stop there, but no, that just, it doesn't, it needs something. It needs something, and I'm sure you get that feeling in your own builds where you just feel it needs something. So we're going to move this heat across here, because that's going to give you a little bit more building space when we come, and we will be building in the next video in this area here. and it's given me a little bit more room. So now I'm looking at this and thinking, what else can I do with this build? What can we do? What can we add to this to make it look a little bit more unique and a little bit more believable? So I'm going to put this fence in here. Yeah, we'll put that there. That's a good starting point. We'll shimmy it around so it's in there like that. Okay, so that's a bit of a wall. Like I said, I might put the odd junk fence in, but I'm not going to wall this settlement at all. And certainly a couple of the settlements I've seen in Fallout 76 do this. They'll put the odd or a couple of junk walls in, but then they don't. That's it. That's all they do. They don't actually wall the thing, which I like. I kind of like. It's taken me in a whole new direction and a whole new thinking. And Fallout 76, the way that they've designed some of the areas has really given me a ton of ideas. And so, if you haven't got 76, maybe just watch some of the playthroughs that people are putting out, and it might give you some ideas for your own builds. You don't have to actually physically go and buy it. There's plenty of people online that have shared content, and maybe it'd be worth me putting a video out to show you some of the areas that I've actually got influence with. If you'd like to see that, please leave some comments down below, and I'm happy to maybe do a separate video to say here's some of the areas that I've found in Fallout 76 that have influenced a couple of my builds. So these actually snap, for me at least, to the scaffolding, and I do like the fact that they've snapped inside out as such. And you know, the temptation is to do it all the way around, but no, I'm only going to do it in the entranceway. And you can see that also adds to these concrete areas too. So all good so far, so good. So we don't have too much more to worry about here. We've got some final touches to put together, and then we should be good. So I'm going to cut out this bit in a minute. I went looking. This area just feels as though it needs something a little bit different. Excuse me, my voice has just decided to run a little bit weird. So I went into Dead Wasteland, started pulling bits and pieces out. Excuse me. And I found this roof here, which fits perfectly with what this kind of look and this vibe. And again, you know, I encourage you just have a good look around your different mods and see what it might produce. So I'm going to persuade that into place there, like that, eventually. So what I usually do is I'll put it roughly where I want it, and then I'll fine tune it. You can see that line is just a little bit off. Probably better to do it from up top, but we'll get it close enough, I think. There we go. Just about there. Nice. Okay, good. Again, Dead Wasteland's one of those that has a little bit of lag issue sometimes. Now, you can see there those posts are not quite on the ground, so we're going to fix that now, and it's a pretty easy fix. I'll show you how we do that. I'm just going to take a quick drink. So I'm going to use the posts I never use, which are these ones. Oh no, these ones. I thought I was going to use the other ones, beg your pardon. So just roughly find where they fit, and make sure that they're going to drop down, and we'll put a few in here, and then we'll ease them into place. Of course, you can use the post or pillar or whatever for this. You just place it anywhere. So what I generally do is just get it roughly where it needs to be, like that, and then I'll fine tune it from there. So you can see if you spin it round, eventually it will just sort of fall into place. Using a controller, it can be a little bit tricky, but and then I just stand back and have a look and say, is that close? That one still needs a little bit of a tweak, but just like, nearly had it there. It's very close there. Yep. Now I've got 4 posts there. Only actually need 3 because the other one's actually lying sitting on the ground on the other side for some reason. Just like that, and then we'll tweak it, because you know those funny 4 angles tend to not be good for us. Okay, so that one can get deleted or stored, whichever you prefer. There we go. That one still needs a little bit of work, I think, but we'll come and fix that in a while. Now, of course, you could use something like a tire stack there, a barrel there, boxes, whatever, just to fill that gap if you really wanted to. You have to do this, but yeah, these kind of match perfectly, so all good. Okay, nearly finished. Just a couple of finishing touches in here, and then we'll cut to the tour. So I'm going to use these pieces of cloth that I've found. I've used these before. I used them in another one of my settlements, and I'm just trying to think which one it was, and I've gone blank for a second, which happens a lot. But anyway, I'll think of it in a second. So I'm just, basically what I'm doing is just scrolling through menus to see what's there, and eventually you'll come up against this. So these are good. These drapes or cloth or whatever the heck they are. They can be a little bit finicky, and you'll see that in a second. Look, they snap in midair for some reason. I'm not sure why, but anyway, just ease them into place, get the angle right, and there we go, we're in. And so we add a few of those just to add to the overall look of this and just dress it up a little bit. Okay, quite where we want it. Just get this first one, always get the first one roughly where you want it, so that acts as a guide for the rest of them. Now I thought here that these might snap, but they don't, so just going to line that up roughly with that. There we go, up a bit, across a bit, and you can see it's a subtle little kind of element, but it works very nicely just to add something more to the depth and look, and something a little bit unique to the look of it. There we go, nice. One more on the front gate, and then we will be completely finito, and you can see what the creation looks like in its entirety, because I do a lot more decoration. So here you go, guys, here's the tour, enjoy. So here we go, here is the finished entranceway. One thing that I would say is it's not symmetrical. You can see there's like one piece on that side and 2 pieces on that side, which kind of annoys me a little bit, but that's just me. I want to keep this settlement fairly open, and I want to really put lots and lots of walls and stuff on it. This entranceway here is influenced by a place called Abandoned Town, I think, which is close to Watogan if you've played Fallout 76. I have added a water purifier system in here. Just put a fence around it basically, and dumped it in and put a generator. There's not much to that, but I want this to flow with the motel and everything that we're going to build in the settlement, and I think it does that very nicely. Let's show you some of the finer details that we've put in. We've lent a lot of stuff kind of against the walls here. You can see this trader's sign, trader's welcome sign, a couple of tires and a pole. I'll show you around the back. This pole, that took me forever to get into place. Let me show you how I actually did this. So what I did is I got a pole, a post, and then I put a railing on the back of it so that this would snap onto it. And it did take a bit of finagling, but we got there. So again, traders welcome. And we'll just walk through. Like I said, lots of stuff kind of that comes with Dead Wasteland that you can lean up against it. Like that. And I do like it. I have blocked this off now. And I always wanted the motel to be accessible for the road, not necessarily that you can access the settlement, but you only have to walk up here. It's not too far. And so, you know, the traders come in here to that fire, and I want to make these little areas here, and they've already started using them, where they can just sit and talk and have a get together. You see the table there, it's somebody's forgot their buff at, I think. Anyway, so there are just some fine details in here. I've moved the steps so that it didn't take up too much space the other way. And there isn't a great deal here. I've removed some of these railings. A couple of turrets here just in case. This area, as I've said before, does get attacked a fair bit. But there you go, guys. Nice and simple. Nice and kind of, it's reasonably clean, but it's enough clutter there, and it's been made out of the materials to make it convincing as a kind of entranceway. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this build. Join me next week on fixing up the Commonwealth, and we'll continue the settlement at County Crossing. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya!